There's a moment when your hand stops. You're standing above a trash bin, holding something small, something that takes up no space. An old concert ticket, edges soft from years in a drawer. A t-shirt that doesn't fit anymore, fabric thin as tissue paper. A letter you haven't read since the day it arrived. Logic says, throw it away. Your hand says, not yet. You feel foolish standing there, frozen, over something so small, so seemingly nothing. The world calls it sentimental clutter, as if sentiment itself needs cleaning, as if the things that make you pause are problems to be solved. But something in you won't let go. Something in you knows this isn't just a thing. You've been here before. We all have. Caught between what makes sense and what feels impossible. If this lands, stay with us. We live in the age of letting go. Minimalism promises freedom, clean spaces, clear minds. The magazines show us homes that look like art galleries, empty counters, nothing out of place. Marie Kondo taught us to spark joy. The internet says clutter is chaos, that holding on is holding back. The enlightened person owns less, needs less, keeps less. There's a quiet messaging everywhere you look. Attachment equals weakness. Social media feeds filled with white walls and empty shelves. The aesthetic of absence. The beauty of having nothing to hold on to. And the promise is so seductive. Let go and be free. Release and find peace. Throw it away and watch your life transform. But then you're back at that trash bin, holding that small thing, and you can't. The shame creeps in. The voice that says you're doing it wrong, it has a name now, this feeling. The sense that you're failing at something everyone else makes look effortless. That everyone else has figured out how to let go. And you're still here, still stuck, still attached to sentimental clutter. If you're too emotional, too attached, too unable to embrace the lightness everyone promises, minimalism guilt, you start to wonder if there's something wrong with you. No one tells you what it costs to become a person who owns nothing, but feels nothing too. Why does this feel so hard when it should feel so simple? Why can't I throw away sentimental things? You ask yourself. You start to wonder if you're broken, or if maybe you're not. But here is what they don't tell you in all those glossy articles about the psychology of keeping stuff. We're not just being asked to declutter objects. We're being asked to declutter emotion. Let the silence speak back. And that's when something becomes clear. Memory isn't just in your mind. It lives in textures and faded ink, in the way fabric holds the shape of who you used to be. That concert ticket isn't paper, it's the version of you who bought it, who waited in line. The exact songs, the exact feeling, the person you went with. But your fingers remember the ticket. The emotional attachment lives there, in the physical. Who sang along, badly, to songs that mattered then and somehow still matter now. Your mind might forget the details. They become doorways back to moments when you were different, younger maybe, braver, more hopeful, more broken, more whole. Something in you remembers not just what it said, but who you were when you read it, how the world felt different then, how you felt different in it. These memory objects become something more than things. The psychology of keeping stuff isn't about the stuff at all. That version of you who needed that shirt, who treasured that ticket, who kept that letter because it proved someone once cared enough to write. It's about the versions of ourselves we're afraid to lose. The objects say, I was real then, and I'm still real now. That happened. I happened. Because here's what happens when you hold that old letter. The object holds the emotional temperature of a time you can't get back to any other way. And when someone tells you to throw it away, part of you hears, throw that person away. This is identity preservation disguised as clutter. Your resistance isn't dysfunction. It's an attempt at continuity in a world that moves too fast. Emotional decluttering sounds clean and healthy, But sometimes what we're decluttering isn't mess. Sometimes it's proof. Keeping isn't just remembering. It's surviving a world that forgets too quickly. And that's when you realize something quietly radical. We don't fear clutter. We fear forgetting. What everyone else sees as mess, you see as a personal archive. A collection of moments that might otherwise disappear completely. That drawer full of ticket stubs isn't chaos, it's continuity. Each piece of paper, a breadcrumb, trail back to versions of yourself that deserve to be remembered. The emotional attachment isn't to the object itself. It's to the story the object holds. The proof that you were there, you felt something, you mattered enough to keep a piece of it. Erase that chapter. Pretend that version of you never existed. When someone says throw away that sentimental clutter, what you hear is delete that story. But some things aren't just things. Between keeping your story intact and letting pieces of it disappear, they're the difference between remembering and forgetting, between honoring and abandoning. This is identity preservation dressed up as mess. And maybe sometimes that's exactly what psychological well-being looks like. Not the empty shelf, not the cleared surface, but the careful keeping of what made you who you are. The resistance you feel isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's your inner self saying, this mattered, this shaped me. This deserves to stay. You're not resisting throwing away things. You're resisting deleting stories. And some stories, no matter how small, no matter how seemingly insignificant, are worth the space they take up in your world. So here's what they don't tell you in the decluttering blogs. Maybe keeping isn't hoarding. Maybe it's honoring. Maybe the hesitation you feel when your hand hovers over that trash bin isn't weakness. Maybe it's memory doing its job. Protecting what deserves protection. That old shirt, soft from washing, still holding the shape of a day when you felt brave enough to wear it. The concert stub carrying the echo of a night when music made sense of everything that didn't. You're not broken for wanting to keep them. You're human for needing to. You hold on to the small things that say, this happened, this mattered, this was real. The world moves fast. Stories get buried under newer stories. People forget, places change, versions of ourselves get left behind in the rush toward whatever comes next. This moment was worth preserving. This story deserves to stay, but you remember. You pause. The split second when you honor what was, even if you're not sure why. Maybe some moments are worth the drawer space, the shelf space, the small corner of the world where we keep proof that we were here, we felt something, we mattered. That pause before throwing something away might be the most sacred moment in your day. Not all emotional attachment is clutter. Sometimes it's care. Sometimes it's love disguised as resistance to letting go. The things we keep, they whisper, this version of you is real, and maybe some versions of ourselves do deserve to stay. Trust the pause. Trust the hesitation. It knows something you might have forgotten. You're not alone in this.